students, and welcome to Ravenwood. I am your humble hostess, Game Mistress Winter. You can find me at GMistressWinter on Twitter and Instagram. I am so excited for yet another exciting episode of Ravenwood, emceed by our all around dear Abby Marie Carter. Uh, there are no big announcements currently, except that we will be on a 2 week break after next week. I believe is what we've scheduled out. So we will have an episode next week, but then we will be off for the following 2 weeks, and we will come back after that. So just keep an eye on our Twitter. That is MW Court, and any of our lovely players who have offered up their socials as well, because we will be promoting when our next episode is after next week. But that's all I really have. I'm going to push it on over to our MC, Mistress of Ceremonies, Abby.
Hi, everyone. I'm Abby Marie Carter, and your Mistress of Ceremonies, or MC for short, for this campaign, Ravenwood. You can find me on Instagram at Abby_Marie_Carter, and you can also find me on Discord or in the Twitch chat at Abby Marie Carter. Yes, I'm very excited to be back and to get into this story with my players. Who I would love if you would introduce yourself and who you're playing. Let's start with Stouffer.
That's basically it for me. I'm Stouffer. I'm playing Amity. I am in Mistress Winter's Discord, and that's about it for my social stuff.
All right. Thank you so much, Stouffer, and thank you for being here. Let's move on to Juicy.
Hey, I'm Juicy Garland. Well, normally. I am a Boston area drag queen and super nerd. I am playing our werewolf, and I am, sorry, excuse me, excited to be here.
We love having you and are excited that you're here. Thank you so much for being here. Emma.
Hey everybody, I'm Emma, a voice actress and TTRPG content creator. I am playing Mika the Infernal tonight, and there are multiple socials where you can find me, but we will list those off at the end.
Sounds good. Thank you so much, Emma. And last but certainly not least, Alex.
Hey everybody, I'm Alex. I'm playing Damon Fullerton in our Ravenwood campaign. He is the ghost, and I do not have any socials, so I'm kind of in the same boat as Stouffer. I am in the Discord, so you can find me there.
All right. Thank you so much, and thank you to our wonderful audience for being here. If you're returning, thank you so much for coming back, and if you're new, thanks for checking us out. Without further ado, we're going to get into tonight's episode of Ravenwood. Last episode, our students were introduced to the area that they have been living in and the campus that they attend, Ravenwood University. Our story started with a disappearance of a student named Carter. And then we moved on to our students attending a class together. That is, the professor of that class is the headmistress of the university, Dr. Lila. They were assigned a group project together and started working, varying levels of getting along. Xander, which is Mika's little brother, is also in their group. And that's when they were informed by Damon's RA that a student was missing. Mika had a run-in with her dark entity that she has tied herself to. Damon learned that his sister is going to try and find who killed him. Bobby was asked out on a date to a party. And Amity had a run-in with Rhapsody, who is her fellow Fae rival, so to speak. The students met again to talk about their group project, where they overheard the headmistress talking on the phone that a body had been discovered following the disappearance. And that is where we start. So you have just heard Dr. Lila talking on the phone, saying that a body has been found, but that they're trying to keep this quiet, and you've heard the sound of her heels walking away.
Amity will dart to the door to poke her head out.
Amity, you would see the swish of Dr. Lila's hair as she essentially rounds the corner to leave this area of the building, presumably to go to see the body or something. But she is clearly left already.
Amity's gonna follow.
Where's she going?
Damon is right behind Amity without question.
Oh gosh.
I don't know that we should be following her if she doesn't know that we know. Guys, and Mika's gonna kind of duck out to look after Damon and Amity. Are we really doing this?
Okay, fine. I guess it's better if we all go, right? That way no one gets in trouble alone.
I guess so. Mika's gonna shrug and I guess gesture for Bobby to go in front of her, because she'll keep up the rear.
Alright, I guess let's go before they get too far ahead.
Yeah. Okay.
Xander will be kind of standing in the doorway as you start to leave, Mika, and just where are you going? What do you do? Why would you follow?
I don't know, because they're going. Just stay here.
Okay. And he'll just go and sit down kind of really nervously. So the four of you are following Dr. Lila. Amity and Damon, who's first? Are you in a line? Are you walking together?
Might unintentionally end up walking together. It depends on the situation. Are we following her through hallways and stuff? Because Amity's just gonna try to be sneaky and keep her in sight, and because she had specifically mentioned trying to keep it quiet, so Amity is going to also be quiet.
Okay.
I would say that Damon is following Amity. So, yeah, Amity in front, Damon behind.
Okay. So in a sort of Scooby-Doo-esque sneaking around, Amity is in front, Damon's following her, Bobby a little more a ways back, with Mika bringing up the rear as the four of you go after Dr. Lila.
Mm-hmm.
Amity, as you're following her, there are some hallways. She doesn't know that she's being followed, at least right now. It doesn't seem like she is giving any indication that she's being followed. So, yeah, she's going through hallways, but you would know that she's just going towards the exit. And after a couple of turns, she would walk out the door, and she would begin making her way towards the lake, which has a name that I totally remember at this moment.
Yeah, if only I remembered and also could find out where I wrote it down.
Right, that is currently what I'm looking for. I didn't have it pulled up apparently. I think it's Witch's
Witch's Neck.
Lake.
The Witch's
Neck
Mhm.
Lake.
Thanks, search function.
I apologize for that. She starts heading towards the general area of Witch's Neck Lake. So she is walking kind of out in the open now. And it's, it's the middle of the afternoon, or maybe not the middle of the afternoon. It's afternoon pushing evening, so there's students there. If she sees anyone that seems to be walking towards the lake, she's calling to them to like go do something else. Don't go over there. You better get to class. Things like that, being kind of uncharacteristically harsh as she continues walking. Amity, how close would you say you are to Dr. Lila as you're
100.
walking behind her?
Trying to stay within 100 feet.
Okay.
Just enough that, like, if Dr. Lila turns a corner, Amity can, like, rush to that corner and, like, look around to make sure that they don't lose her around, like, another corner. I guess we're getting into tree territory if we're going to the lake, though.
Ooh.
Yes.
Because Bobby knows the area, he's going to do whatever he can to stay secluded, but get close.
Okay. All right. So the four of you continue to follow.
The trees look like a nimble person could run across from branch to branch in Naruto through this scene. If not, that's fine. But
the foliage is starting to be
yeah.
Well, there would be opportunity for it. There's just not as much foliage as there once was to kind of cover you because it is fall.
Right.
And so, well, the leaves are still very much so on the trees and these beautiful fall colors.
Cold fall day or like okay fall day?
It's mid-October, so it's probably still okay, but it's definitely pushing towards colder. It's chilly. You'd want a sweater or something.
Amity probably has a t-shirt and considers this freezing then.
It's peak sweater weather is what it is.
Yeah.
Yes. Before getting to the lake, kind of crossing the threshold between where the buildings end and there's kind of, more greenery before you get up to the lake. There's some figures in the distance you can see near the lakeside. Dr. Lila kind of freezes, is darting around, looking around, turns around. She'll take a second before she turns around, and it will be clearly indicated that she is trying to turn around. Do any of you hide, or do you...
Definitely trying to be stealthy.
Yeah,
yes, please.
Not gonna want to be
well, Bobby was already trying to be stealthy, so...
Okay. I think I would like everyone to make a keep your cool roll.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Oh, boy.
So good at these. Ooh. I rolled 2 4s. Doubles mean anything? Do I get to roll again?
I don't think so.
I add a -1, so a 7.
Keep your cool is cold, right? Your cold stuff?
Yes.
Okay. Damon got an 8 on that roll then.
Okay.
Mika got a 5.
Oh no, Mika! Make sure you mark experience.
I am just on a roll for
Did Mika
this campaign.
Did Mika go with Bobby into the brush?
Mika would have been following pretty closely behind you, so probably.
Good, because Bobby got a 5 as well.
Fantastic.
All right. So Dr. Lila turns around. Amity and Damon. Her eyes seem to kind of go right over you, as if she kind of sees that you're there, but doesn't seem like it. It's not like you two seem to be following her. You're doing a good job of kind of hiding or making it look like you're not following her. Her eyes, however, immediately land on Bobby, with Mika behind him, standing suspiciously in the brush. And
Oh,
she'll
so
just
yeah,
kind of-
this here is that brush I was telling you about. We were talking about it in the biology class, remember? This is
Oh,
part
yeah,
of the ecosystem.
Yes, I know that, Bobby, but what was it that what sort of sample were we supposed to collect for biology?
Yeah, we were
class
supposed
again?
to get a root sample. Did you bring the trowel?
Right. Trowel, no, but
Dr. Lila will
I-
approach you at this point and start going,
Oh, hi,
if you
Dr.
could just-
Lila. How are you?
Hi, I'm not sure what you're doing out here right now, but if you could
Yeah,
just
we're
head
here for a
back towards
biology
me.
class. Unfortunately, Mika forgot the trowel.
right, we should probably go back to the classroom to get that.
Yeah. Oh, shoot. Oh, jeez. I'm so sorry.
I think it would be better if you two would just stay on main campus.
Is there a problem? What's going on over here?
Fine, don't worry, everything's fine. I just
Yeah,
would
what's
really
happening?
prefer-
Oh gosh,
Nothing's
what's
happening.
that
She'll
over
kind
there?
of
Oh,
take
no.
you, Bobby,
Oh,
and like,
jeez.
no, nothing's
Oh,
happening. Stepping
Is that-
to make sure you can't see
Oh
it.
no.
Don't
Okay,
worry,
okay.
nothing's going on.
Yeah,
Don't
sure.
worry about it.
You don't need any help here. You know, I have a great nose.
I am sure you do. But no, this is for the faculty need to handle this.
Okay, all right there. Okay, you sure?
Please
And-
just yes, I'm sure.
Okay,
Please just head
okay,
back to main
okay, all right
campus
there. Okay,
and,
let's go, Mika.
take
We'll
your
go find that
friends
trowel.
with
Come
you.
right back. Okay, all right. See ya, Dr. Lila. Okay, we'll be back in a
Yeah.
minute.
Absolutely.
and she will watch to make sure y'all walk away.
And while Bobby was doing a fantastic job of distracting her, Mika would kind of peer around her shoulder and try and like make some sort of hand signal to David and Amity to just keep going and keep following her and update them when they come back.
All right. Yeah, Dr. Lila will turn around. I will say, Damon and Amity, if you continue to follow her, it is very likely that she'll catch you, see you, and the same thing might happen, or something else. But it's very likely if you continue following her, she will catch you. That doesn't mean you can't follow her. Just based on your roles, that is most likely what will happen. So are you going to choose to continue to follow?
Yes.
All right,
Yeah.
they both say yes. Okay, so Dr. Lila continues to walk forward, passing by where both Amity and Damon are hiding. Are you hiding together or separately?
I would think so.
Yeah, Amity wouldn't, like, if Damon showed up behind them, they wouldn't be upset, but also they're not like saying, hey, come over here, here's a good hiding spot. So it's kind of very much doing their own thing.
Okay. Okay. Dr. Lila is
Amity's goal at this point is to just see the body. So like if that takes getting caught, they're okay with that.
okay. Dr. Lila will kind of brush herself off and take a breath after sending Mika and Bobby away. And she will kind of turn on her heel and continue walking towards the lakefront. She'll constantly be looking over her shoulder, looking around for students, trying to make sure that no one is following. There is quite a lot of trees, foliage, things like that, so you could probably get away with going from tree to tree or something like that. You'll just have to time it out so that you don't get caught. she will approach where a professor that you all are unfamiliar with is standing, along with a police officer that you know is not a part of the school, is from the mortal town. So this is a human police officer that may or may not know about the existence of monsters. There is something on the ground in front of them, so you can't get a good look at it, and it seems to be covered with a sheet. And Dr. Lila will approach. How close do you all get?
Damon is gonna put his flying practice to the use to use here, and just sort of like levitate off the ground, not make too much noise, but kind of hang out like behind a tree trunk, enough to see the sheet.
Are you? Sorry, go ahead, Amity.
To say that Amity would get to the closest tree that was big enough to block them from direct line of sight. So however close that would be.
Okay. So neither of you are probably close enough to be able to make out truly what's being said. They would be speaking in hushed whispers. Dr. Lila is clearly worried about this. But you make out a few words. The name Carter is thrown around, but you have no context for it. Just hushed conversations. All of a sudden, Dr. Lila kind of straightens up, turns around, and catches you, Amity, directly in her line of sight. Just makes eye contact with you.
Amity will wink and walk forward.
Okay. All right. Dr. Lila will rush forward, kind of grab your shoulders and just, Amity, darling.
Not like too crazy, but Amity will like attempt to like go around, but when they're caught, they'll not put up a fight or anything.
Amity, darling, what are you doing out here?
Well, you said there was body. That was very interesting.
You weren't supposed to overhear that, dear. Why don't you just go back to the main campus and find some friends of yours?
Oof. I think I'm gonna have to keep my cool from that comment. Right. Amity is kind of sensitive on friends since Rhapsody had kind of thrown that in her face the other day, earlier yesterday, whatever. Keep your cool. Would that be
cold? Roll with cold.
But it's keep your cool is what I'm thinking, right?
Yes, yes, okay. I think so.
I rolled another 2 4s. So 7. I'm gonna switch dice.
Okay. Well, what are you trying to do? What is Amity trying to do?
So I think
comment.
So Amity's goal was to just kind of figure out as much as they could while being kind of genuine. But now they kind of set themselves down. And with a 7, there's like enough that Amity doesn't like dive into their self and get kind of lost, but they lose kind of interest in stuff. So if Dr. Lila's trying to convince her to leave, she'll just kind of nod and just head off in a random direction, which might be towards the body, and then she gets steered. And it's kind of in her own thoughts now.
Once Dr. Lila will notice kind of the shift in Amity.
For sure. Also, I still have the dunce cap for whatever that might be.
The condition, yes.
Condition, yeah.
So conditions are simply what people potentially think of you. They are not necessarily the truth. They are things that, like rumors or things like that. For example, somebody can have the, well, to use dunce, Rhapsody that was given to you by Rhapsody. So Rhapsody views you as not smart, as a dunce, essentially. And so that will color Rhapsody's interactions with you. And could potentially color other people's interactions and opinions of you, but that doesn't necessarily mean that Amity is a dunce in any way. It's just kind of, I don't know, part of the rumor mill, so to speak.
Okay.
And with a condition, that's sort of how they work. You can resolve conditions by addressing them, either like to the person that gave the condition or to a wide group, or sometimes even just like one-on-one with a friend or a fellow player, sometimes talking about that condition, specifically like what it just kind of does to your character's psyche or how it affects them. So that's really what a condition is. It's not, you don't have to take anything on and change your character. It is just what some people think of you, which definitely plays into things. So yes, so with you said you rolled a 7 again, right?
Yep.
All right, so Dr. Lila will notice that you seem to have closed yourself off. And she is not used to seeing this behavior from you. You can choose to walk away, but Dr. Lila's probably going to stop you and ask you, Amity, darling, what's wrong? You seem saddened.
Doesn't. I don't think sympathy is something they have a lot of experience with. So, kind of blinking a few times, and then it's like very teenage drugs. Doesn't know how to express himself in this moment.
Okay. So Dr. Lila will address you probably before you try to leave, and then when you try to leave, she'll let you. However, I would like you to roll a runaway.
Yeah.
Which is with volatile.
+1, I think. No, 5 -1, so 4. Yay, experience.
Yes, experience. Okay, so you are unsuccessful with your runaway attempt. Dr. Lila doesn't want you to leave. She's now concerned about you.
Yes. Thanks. What I wanted, even if that's not what Amity wanted.
Yep. So she will kind of grip your shoulders, not tightly, but in a kind of caring way. Very much so, almost a mother to a child type way. And just, maybe you should come to my office later and we can maybe talk. I'd love to see how you're settling in. It's, I always like checking in with my fellow Fae, of course, and I'd love to see how you're doing.
Amity again, like studies her for a bit, for a long heartbeat, and then will eventually just say, "Okay."
Well, I'll be in my office this evening. You come over any time that you're free. Once you're finished with classes or projects or anything else you may have going on.
They just nod.
And she will send you on your way. And then she will turn back to the other adults and the body. Damon, you are still hanging out.
I've seen this all unfold in front of me, and as just whenever Amity sort of crosses, I guess, where I intersect the scene, I sort of like float after them and follow them back because I've seen everything I want to see.
Okay. Sounds good. Mika and Bobby, where do you go after Dr. Lila catches you?
What time is it?
I think it's probably around 5:36-ish.
Okay.
If I remember correctly, you guys were meeting around 4:30-ish.
And was the party tonight or tomorrow?
The party is tonight.
What
that Jonathan
time?
has invited you to. I don't believe Jonathan gave you a time, but you would know that these, from, fellow students that go to, you might have a dorm mate. Let's say you have a dorm mate that often goes to parties on the equivalent of Greek row. It's at, like, I think the vampire fraternity house, so to speak.
Yeah, sometime after sundown.
Yes, so they tend to start pretty late. While vampires can walk around in the sun, no problem, they still are veer towards being more nocturnal creatures. So yeah, probably late. You know that these things usually get started around 10 or 11 and don't really get into full swing until about midnight, 1, sometimes even later.
All right, then I will shoot Jonathan a text, and I'll ask him when he wants me to meet and where he wants me to meet him.
All
and
right.
Bobby will just be like, you want to go get dinner or something?
I mean, we can. Sure.
Unless you're busy, I don't know. I mean,
No.
what else are we gonna do? We can just wait for them to, I guess, find us and let us know what they found out.
You know what? Where do you want to go? I can always tell them just to meet us wherever.
I mean, there's the dining hall.
That works.
Okay.
And Mika will take out her phone and put in the group chat. Bobby and I are heading to the dining hall. We got caught. Meet us there when you've seen everything.
Mm-hmm.
And send it off.
All right. You will receive a text back from Xander saying, does that mean we're done for the night?
I guess. Well, what did we have to do? I'll text back. We'll finish your part and we'll meet up tomorrow.
Xander will just send back, cool. And you do not hear from him again.
And at that point, Mika will kind of just think about it. Be a little concerned. Like, this is her little brother. And he was already worrying her with the talk of having older friends.
Right.
Who she knows not to trust because everyone wants to pick on the freshmen.
Right.
So I think she's going to reach out to Xander privately and just be like, hey, what are you doing? Like, trying not to sound like she's being too overprotective, but
right.
Trying to find an in.
Xander will send back kind of several question marks and just, I'm finishing up what we were working on. And then I'm gonna go get food with some friends. Why do you need to know?
Just checking. You've seemed pretty eager to make friends up until this point, and now all of a sudden, since you have, and she'll literally put it in quotes, cool older friends, you're distancing yourself. I just want to make sure you're careful.
You'll receive back, "Okay, Mom."
That's my job.
All right. Amity and Damon, where are you headed?
Amity will wander for a bit.
I'm walking with Amity, but ultimately I'm headed back towards my dorm.
Okay. The
Amity.
text comes in from Mika and Bobby about going to the dining hall for dinner.
And it's then when Damon sort of realizes, yeah, I haven't really eaten anything since breakfast. So, I mean, doesn't sound like too bad of an idea to me. How about you, Amity? Do you want to join Bobby and Mika for food at the dining hall?
They stay there for like longer than necessary. And eventually we'll just nod and follow after you.
Okay. I start walking towards the dining hall.
Okay. As you two walk into the dining hall, Rhapsody, Amity, you see Rhapsody. She's standing with a couple students that you know to be kind of the group she runs around with. They aren't Fae. In fact, there aren't a lot of Fae at the university, even though the headmistress is a Fae. So Rhapsody is one of the few other Fae that you would know, honestly. But she's standing there talking. She kind of tosses her hair a little bit and sees you out of the corner of her eye. Turns back, says something to her friends, points over at you, and they all kind of have this moment of laughter.
I think Amity would take that in for sure, but again, know how to handle it. So just kind of, I imagine that Damon would get a little bit ahead and then they would just follow after.
Okay. So the four of you get dinner together, meet up. I'm not sure when Mika and Bobby would arrive, but presumably they would arrive first.
I think at least a few minutes before.
Yeah, probably at least. We're probably already sitting there eating. I imagine Bobby probably eats a ton of food and somehow manages to stay like thin all the time. So just this pile of like burger and fries. And that's it, just burger and fries over and over again. And he's just like chowing down on, "Oh, hi guys, how you doing?" And he's just like slamming a burger, just completely inhaling it.
Meanwhile, Mika's probably got the standard, like, think like librarian style college kid eating a salad, trying to stave off the freshman 15.
Have you guys tried the milkshake machine? Holy crap! You can do like a chocolate milkshake mixed with like a strawberry milk. It's ridiculous. You guys should try it. Oh geez, it's awesome.
I didn't even know we had a milkshake machine.
There are like two.
There's two of them.
Yeah, next to each other. But I mean, just because the line, you know. But like, you guys should try. It's pretty cool.
Damon comes back to the table with just a single sushi platter. It's like the most bland sushi you've ever seen in your life. It's nothing else on it. It's just like the most basic stuff wrapped up in rice. And it looks down at it, it's like, I think I'm content with what I've got right now. I might check that out after I finish this. And,
Oh, that's neat.
undoes the chopsticks and everything and starts working away at it.
Amity sits. I imagine they're like bench seating, but either case, Amity will sit like feet on the stool, crouched in, and like kind of there. Would not get any food.
You know you could just sit down, right? Like you can sit on the bench.
they wrinkle up their nose a little bit, and um, everything in the mortal realm is so dirty.
Oh, okay. You want a burger? I got like 4 here.
Kind of like glares at you, eyes.
I mean,
Normally
I can
kind
go
of
get another.
eyes normally kind of a swirling purple. They start to like still a little bit. There's not nearly as much movement in them as normal, and I'll say no deal.
Okay.
You all right there, Amity?
Very like almost like cat-like, turning their head to you. Oh man. Okay. Keep it fair. I think they just open their mouth, gape fish, and then just shake their head and look away.
Okay.
Amity, I would like you to roll to shut someone down.
Okay. Well, that's a 9. That someone down is also cold, right?
Yes.
That'll be an 8.
All right. So you choose one from below, but you come across poorly. And therefore Damon will give you a condition in return. So either Amity, you will choose this for Damon, and then Damon, you will give Amity a condition. So they lose a string on you. If they have no strings on you, gain 1 on them. They gain a condition, or you take 1 forward.
Okay, so I give Amity a condition, but Amity does something to me?
Yes. Amity is going to choose one from the list of things I just said and apply it to you, essentially.
Okay.
But yes, in return, you will give Amity a condition.
I think I'm gonna take the forward.
For those who don't know, and a reminder to our players, a forward is essentially a +1 on your next roll. All right. Damon, it would also be helpful, David, if you did it in roleplay somehow, if you're able to, giving the condition to Amity.
Okay.
Yes. And a condition is kind of anything. You come up with it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like going through the reference sheet, like, what
Yeah.
condition?
There's
makes
not
sense?
specific
Okay.
conditions. It's just kind of you can come up with it. Conditions are negative things, so think more negative words, but things like so Rhapsody gave the condition dunce. I think the common example in the book, in the Monster Hearts manual, is like slut and things like that, selfish, dishonest, things like that.
Okay, so Damon, after Amity puts on a little show, sort of, he's physically still for a little bit and kind of goes back to his food, and he mutters under his breath, high school friends wouldn't even do shit like that. And I want to give the freak condition to Amity.
Okay. Amity, you now have the condition freak as well as dunce.
Freaky dunce.
Aw, poor Amity.
Poor Amity.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, I feel like Mika's kind of just sitting there, like, glances over at Bobby, shoves some salad in her mouth, and just... It's like, I'm staying out of this.
Takes a sip of the like milkshake, and it's just that like empty milkshake noise for a little too long.
2 gallons of milkshake left. Still somehow makes that noise right then.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Bobby, you will receive a response from Jonathan
Oh.
that will say, I'll pick you up at your dorm. And then list a time that'll be around 10:30, 11, and also asking you which dorm you live in.
I will let him know.
Okay. All right. So the four of you have dinner together. A altercation between Damon and Amity happens. Do any of you want to do anything else?
Does anyone want a cookie? I was gonna go get one.
I'll go with you.
Okay.
And at that point, I feel like Mika being left alone with Amity would try and sort of get them out of their shell a little bit that they've sort of closed themselves off into, and just kind of lean over and be like, so did you see the body?
Amity would have been like surreptitiously checking on Rhapsody and her group, but then turn over at the question and say yes and no. I believe it was covered by a sheet or something. So I'm not 100% sure it was the body, but logic dictates.
Regardless of who it was a body.
Yes. So was it Dr. Lyra who mentioned Carter or someone else?
It would have been the other professor who brought up Carter's name.
Someone else there mentioned the name Carter?
Oh, no.
You know them? They a friend?
More like, remember how that one guy was walking around talking about a missing guy?
Yeah.
That was the missing guy. And my sister is friends with his girlfriend. Don't say anything to anyone yet, but if they actually found his body, that's really bad.
Why?
Because that means that the disappearance that everyone was like, it's probably nothing, is actually something.
That makes sense. Perhaps we should do something. Find who made this person disappear. Tell them stop.
Well, that would be helpful if we knew how he disappeared or what happened to him. But I don't know how we would figure that out. From what I found out just from talking to my sister about what his girlfriend said, he literally just vanished into thin air when they were headed back to their dorm.
Very intriguing. A puzzle worthy of being solved, though. Amity is loosening up a little bit, kind of very intrigued by all of this.
Yeah, I guess it could be. And we are kind of the only people who know about it, so...
There was also some native with authority there. Did not know their name, though.
A native with authority?
Yes, one of those. They drive around in the annoying cars and will stop and harass free walking people. I've seen it many times. I believe there is a show for them.
You mean a police officer?
The shorter word, I can't remember.
Cop?
Yes, that's the word. It was a cop.
They're the same thing, Amity. But
I don't understand why mortals have so many words for the same thing.
trust me, it gets confusing for us too. And you see Mika, like, especially at the mention of police being involved, like, sort of, her face registers the gravity of the situation. And
Was there any blood on the sheet?
No.
Okay.
But it would have been, I would say that you and Damon both were close enough to see that Amity, you wouldn't know this most likely, but Damon, you're from this world, so you probably haven't seen a lot of dead bodies. You've seen TV shows, and when they're covered with a sheet, usually it's pretty straightforward and just kind of one long lump. This definitely looked more chaotic, kind of more sprawled out, so to speak, as if the body can't be laid normally and covered with the sheet. But you wouldn't have been able to see anything, and no, there would have been no blood.
Okay, good to know.
So, Amity, you would have seen that too. However, I don't think you would have registered that as odd.
This Cup was speaking with Dr. Lyra and Lila or Lyra?
Lila.
I keep adding.
Lila.
Keep wanting to add an R for some reason. Dr. Lila and some other professor I do not know was there as well.
Interesting.
Can I describe the other professor to Mika?
Yes. The other professor was a male professor. One of the professors on the younger side. He's in his first couple years of being a professor, essentially. You would know him to be a witch. They all kind of have signs. He is tall, pretty average build, kind of lanky, but average build. Has something that he plays with in his hands all the time, a coin or something. You would have also noticed that he would have been holding, so he would have had one hand that's essentially by his side playing with this coin or whatever he toys with. And in his other hand, he would have been showing off to Dr. Lila a feather, a dark black feather. But you wouldn't have been able to catch any of the words about this.
Okay. Yeah, then Amity would give just a brief description. Probably just do the look, the tall, average. Would Amity know enough to call him a witch?
I think so. I think she's been around
So yeah, they just say
humans enough, and at this specific university enough to essentially identify what witches usually look like. Mika, you would know this professor.
Okay.
He has been your English professor. So if you don't have an English class this semester or this year, maybe your freshman English class, or if the higher division English classes and things like that. So he is a professor. So you would know. And he is a pretty lax professor. No one really knows his last name. His name is Orpheus, so Professor Orpheus. So at the description, you would know who Amity is talking about.
Professor Orpheus is involved. Interesting.
Orpheus?
That's what he called himself. I had him for my freshman English class. I had to get the requirement out of the way somewhere, so but he's a new professor. The fact that he's involved in all of this and not one of the more tenured ones is strange.
Perhaps he's the one that found the body.
Possibly. Mika's gonna pause for a moment. And Emma is trying to figure out whether or not this would be like a gaze into the abyss, or Mika also has some abilities with asking questions of the dark power.
Okay. What specifically are you trying to do? What specifically is Mika trying to do?
Right now, Mika's trying to see if she could get some additional knowledge aside from what they already have, especially regarding if there's anything out there in the tale of monsters or previous like historical instances in the history of monsters, not necessarily of human history, which she would know far better than monster history, of any sort of feathered creatures that could make someone or something disappear out of thin air. And she is willing to ask to give the dark power a string in order to get this information.
Okay. What is the move that you have to you just give the dark power a string and that's can ask?
So there's one that's called strings attached. You can ask the dark power for something that you really, really want. The MC will attach a price to the thing you want and hint at an undesired twist in its nature. If you pay the price, you'll get what you're after.
Okay.
Figure I might as well start using some of these moves here, because otherwise, aside from that, it would be a gaze into the abyss.
Yes. Which, I mean, you can gaze into the abyss to communicate with your dark power.
I think she might try that first before making any sort of further bargain with him over it, especially since they have such little information.
Okay.
So, but Amity would just see her pull out the notebook.
Okay.
And start, sketching in it. I believe that's dark, correct?
Yes, correct.
Okay. So that would be 8. I think that's the first roll I haven't failed yet.
No, you didn't fail, but it is a success with consequences.
Those are always fun.
So what specifically are you asking the dark power? What specifically are you asking Master Grimm?
So, as she takes out the notebook and starts sketching, she would sketch this black feather and sort of this sketch of this like terrified boy being half there and his body like being almost like the lower half of his body being whisked away by the wind, as sort of like she sees it. So like the lower half of his body has vanished and can see the background behind him, and she would just write underneath: strange happenings. Does any of this sound familiar to you?
Okay. And you rolled an 8?
Yes.
Okay. It takes a couple minutes, but on the opposite page, it will start with just kind of ink splotches. just confusing things. Nothing's really making sense. The ink splotches will then turn into images that you are now a little familiar with because of your last encounter with Master Grimm, with kind of the terrifying fairy tales. He definitely takes what you have drawn and twists it and makes it even worse and even scarier. And it's very gory and terrifying to watch as these images almost come to life on the page and disappear and come back and then disappear once more. It goes on for so long that it almost feels like these images are going to reach out and like suck you into the notebook. But finally, all goes quiet, and in the normal, crude writing just appears, yes. Why?
And directly underneath it, Mika will write, "Someone has been killed. We're looking for answers."
Okay.
Let's see if he responds any further. Still sort of shaking off the horrific images that led to this very curt response.
With an 8, Master Grimm, will again take a few minutes to respond, and then just pull up your image, your drawn image of the feather, and write, "I want it back."
Oh. I think that Mika is both confused and horrified at the implication. And just
Which is fair.
And just shuts the notebook. Like, not even trying to be subtle, just a very quick boom, like, ties it back together and shoves it back in her backpack.
Okay.
Have you been hiding your journal from Amity's sight?
She would be hiding what was in it. She would not be hiding the fact that she was writing in it. Keeping it very close to her chest.
Amity will take that all in, see your expression of either stoicness or panic or whatever you might have, and then go ahead if you gotta.
It would definitely be more of like horror mixed with panic. It's like she's realized something that you're not quite keyed in on. And whatever it was, it isn't good.
Mika, are you trying to hide any of these feelings from Amity?
I think at first she would have forgotten that Amity was even there. Especially after, like, all of this, these horrific images had crossed her vision. And she got really sucked into the communication with Master Grimm. And then once she sort of realizes that they're right across from her, after she's shut the notebook,
Intently studying you.
she would just kind of give this very awkward smile of like, huh. And try to play it off by saying, I'm just trying to think of how.
Amity, as like this is like happening, Amity will just be like, you know of the minstrels called Hell Weenie?
What?
There is a group of minstrels. I believe they call themselves Hell Weenie.
No, I've never heard of them.
Damn it.
Before we continue this conversation, Mika, I would like you to give me a keep your cool roll.
That's a 7.
Okay. So you're able to keep your cool for the most part. But Amity, you can tell that something's not right. She's discovered something, or realized something, or has information that's really bothering her. And you know it has to do with the body and the discovery of this body.
Okay.
Please carry on.
That was kind of it for Amity. You said you didn't know, so she's just disgruntled.
Mhm.
All right. Bobby and Damon, what are y'all up to?
Snagging some milkshakes with my boy. You know how it is.
Oh yeah, and getting those cookies. Yeah.
Which flavor did you get? The what was it? How many milkshakes you drank in one sitting?
Oh
Was it like
God,
6 or 3?
I've just only had 2. I mean, we haven't been here that long.
Okay, whatever you say.
I
Yeah, which one would you recommend? And I'm sort of like looking.
Well,
at
I mean, they only really have like the chocolate and the vanilla and the strawberry, and there's a peanut butter out here. But there's like another ice cream case at the other side. So if you want to like take the cup over all the way the other side, there's like a mint chocolate chip and like a banana and like a Rocky Road.
Bobby,
There was
while this is
that like
happening-
that blue one. That what do they call that? I don't even know. But it's blue and it's got like chocolate in it. It's crazy. We don't get that in
Bobby.
Wisconsin. Oh.
While this is happening, you receive a call
Oh, hold on 1 minute. Hi.
from your mother. I was about to ask, do you answer it? Clearly you do.
Hi, Mom.
Hey, Bobby. How are you? I haven't heard from you today. I was getting worried.
Oh, hi. Yeah, I know. I'm good. I'm at the calf right now.
Oh, are you with friends? I'm so sorry. Should I leave you alone?
No,
I'll call
it's
back
fine.
later.
It's
You
fine.
have fun. I'll call back later.
No, you
and
sure?
immediately
Oh,
ends the
okay.
call.
All right. Well, I tell Dad I said hi.
She has already ended the call.
Oh, I'm gonna get flack for that one. Oh, no. Okay. Anyways, yeah. So there's like that blue one over there. But yeah, the cookies are over there if you want one. By the way, would you
comes back
what
with just a simple vanilla milkshake? Like I
Oh,
made my decision.
yeah.
Just like sort of proud of himself.
Yeah, heck yeah. Okay, let's go get the cookies. By the way, what did you guys see?
Oh yeah. So as we're walking over to the cookies, Damon is sort of checking over his shoulder, making sure there's not too many other students around. He turns to Bobby and he says, "Well, we followed Dr. Lila a ways further into the forest, and there was another professor, there was a police officer, and there was a body. We didn't see the body's
jeez.
face or anything. There was a sheet over the body, but
Gosh.
from what I could see, the body did not seem at ease, if that makes sense. Like it was twisted underneath the sheet,
like all mangled and stuff.
yeah.
Oh,
Well,
jeez.
there wasn't any blood, at least that I remember. I don't remember seeing any blood, but
Wait,
the
what?
the body underneath the sheet was twisted and
So like,
in
it
some
didn't
way.
break the skin?
I would hope not. I'm trying not to think about it too much.
No, but
But
like with it all twisting, like it didn't. The bones didn't like break. You know, like when you twist it all up like that, like usually the bones pop and they make that weird noise, and then like maybe it's a little bit of overshare, but like usually the bones
David is
pop
just kind
out.
of like How do you know that?
Well, once in a while you like mangle a deer when the full moon. Anyways, it's a lot. I'm aware. Anyways, like
I understand.
there's usually blood with that kind of state. Like,
Yeah,
oh, that's weird. I don't like
yeah.
that.
So the body was
Oh,
mangled and twisted, but there
no.
wasn't any blood. So
Oh,
I don't. Yeah, I have no idea what happened other than that. Amity got
shoot.
got caught by Dr. Lila, and then after that we just sort of butted out.
Okay.
But yeah,
Do you sleep?
do I sleep?
Yeah, do you sleep? A lot of
Yes,
people here don't sleep. I don't usually sleep much.
I sleep.
Okay,
It's
okay.
it's more of a habit. I don't think I need to, but it's
Okay. So I'm gonna be busy tonight. Uh, but I kind of have good smell when I'm kind of a wolf. This is kind of weird, but I kind of. Oh damn. Okay. So if when I get done with stuff tonight, maybe we should go checking out the area. Maybe I can smell something. You know?
okay. I like
Ah.
yeah, I like that idea.
Oh yeah.
What time do you
I
finish
hope.
with your stuff tonight?
Don't know when that's gonna end, but we're gonna see how that goes.
Okay.
Yeah, just maybe stay up a little later than normal, and I'll text ya. Okay?
Sure. Yeah, I'll stay in the
All
common
right.
area of my dorm. You remember where my dorm is?
Probably, but text me just in case. I
Okay, I'll
might need
text
a
you. Come knock. I'll
reminder.
be in the common area. I'll be studying
Yeah.
later.
Okay. Good. Yeah. Oh, that's weird.
Yeah, it's strange.
Yeah. Sorry to
And
just
Damon has
focus on
grabbed,
that.
like, sort of like absent-mindedly grabbed, like almost like 8 cookies, just sort of like balancing them like in his
Oh, I
arm.
was gonna say get extra for the gals, but we don't need that many. Oh, I mean, maybe you do. I was only gonna have one. Like 5 burgers, but
I've got, I've got some extra punches on my meal
okay.
card. So,
Heck yeah. Okay, let's go.
all right.
All right. Yeah, thanks for sharing. All right.
So Bobby and Damon, you return to the table where Amity and Mika are in silence for the
We we
most part.
we brought you
Um,
cookies.
and Mika looks a little upset, a little horrified.
And she would be trying to mask it with, like, as you say, like, oh, we brought cookies. She would, like, turn and smile and be like, oh, what kinds did you grab? But you would see that as she kind of, like, looks up and starts, like, she's definitely one of those people that, like me, talks with her hands. You
Yeah.
would see one of her hands kind of shaking a little bit.
I think reflexively, Bobby's gonna just look at Amity as like a what happened? Oh,
You're muted, Stouffer.
you're muted.
If you're just looking, Amity does not pick up on the cues, so like stares right back at you.
Ah. Yeah, okay. Yeah, we got cookies.
Awesome. What kind of cookies?
All different kinds, and Damon just like lays out the collection on the table.
Oh, you weren't kidding. And you'll see Mika pick up a red velvet cookie.
That actually
Amity?
sounds pretty good right now.
Amity is still kind of looking at Bobby this whole time and ignoring the cookies. And when you say their name, kind of almost blurting their thought, they're like, "What color's your fur?"
I never. It's kind of like my hair,
That's what I thought.
a little darker.
Can you transform for demonstration purposes?
Oh, right here.
No, in class.
Oh, oh. Uh, maybe. I'll think about it.
Amity will just be like, I've been thinking about my presentation or our presentation and blah blah blah, and could be we could we could go through the steps of transformation or something, you know.
That would be interesting to include in the presentation.
Yeah, me, well, I'll think about it. The complications about clothes are, okay.
Don't
I'll
wear
think-
any.
That's not really socially acceptable, Amity.
That kind of like drops her jaw a little bit.
Yeah, it's a
Oh.
little different in class.
Very confused. Amity just kind of puzzled that over, but like nods, and you could tell that they are like processing that as like a new rule to follow or be aware of it at the very least.
Yeah, it's different in the woods, like alone, but like in front of. Well, what? We can figure something out, maybe. I mean, sweatpants expand.
Why is it different?
I could think of a good couple of reasons.
Why is what different?
Well, maybe more than
Being
a
naked
couple.
in the woods versus class.
Yeah, observers.
Bobby, how is the conversation about transforming, about being a werewolf in front of other people and things like that, how is that making you feel?
With them, they've talked about it enough with the class stuff that's not so bad. Just thinking about doing like, and it's really not necessarily about the nudity so much as like the presentation of his werewolfishness in front of the class is a weird concept for him, just because he was isolated so much, and like he's kind of projecting onto the nudity, but like, he's really weirded out by the idea of sharing with the broad class so directly.
Okay.
Yeah, that's an instant
Alright.
freak out. Yeah, because like he was fine with the small group. He could share in like that technical way. That was easy. Like, yeah, making it personal is different vibe.
Okay. Would you say that Bobby's freaking out about this at all, or just?
It's getting on the edge. Yeah.
Right. I'm gonna have you
wanna-
roll to keep your cool then.
I thought you were gonna say that, and I embraced the chaos. Well, it's a good thing with my -1. That's a 6.
You don't quite do it.
I don't, do I?
So as Amity continues to kind of talk about like
The presentation.
Amity doesn't
Like,
know why it would be a problem.
we could put up posters of your before and after toes, so we could make direct comparison.
This starts getting a lot.
He's just gonna
you have never
about-face and
shared your
leave.
monster.
No.
All right.
Yeah. He's gone.
Amity just keeps doing more things even after noting him leave. Keep saying more things like to Damon and Mika for the group project.
Mika's gonna kind of look and see Bobby go, and just like look at, seeing that Amity is just gonna keep going on and on. Look at Damon and just like hold up a finger and just be like, "I'll be right back," and go after Bobby.
And then Damon just kind of realizes, like, you know, as Mika leaves, like, oh, okay. Here we go.
Oh no, I didn't even think about that.
And so David is just sitting there, you know, like eyeing the amount of cookies, sort of calculating in his head, like, okay, how many should I eat for like 10 minutes? You know, like, how can I make this?
Okay. So, Bobby, where are you going?
He was just gonna head in the direction of his dorm room.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mika, do you catch up with him?
Yeah, Mika would be trying to catch up with him. She wouldn't be Scooby doing it, as we said it earlier. So a little ways outside of the cafeteria. Just be like, Bobby. Hey,
What?
you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
You sure?
Yeah, the idea of, I don't know, transforming into a werewolf in front of the whole class is just a lot. That's all. It's just a whole lot.
That's fair. You said that you never really had anyone.
No, not at all.
Yeah, that's rough. And you don't have to if you don't want to. You know that, right?
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't really gonna. So even if you guys felt like I had to, it probably wasn't gonna happen.
I think Amity doesn't necessarily realize a lot of things.
No, I know. They're difficult. They don't get it. They will eventually, probably, maybe. Who knows?
They're still learning.
Yeah. I mean, we all are.
Mm-hmm. I, to be honest, didn't know a lot about this world until later on in life either.
Ain't that the truth? It's a lot.
Mm-hmm. And
But it's, I don't know, better than being alone. Or being
it
stuck.
definitely is.
It's a lot less boring than Wisconsin.
Yeah.
I mean, being stuck in the woods, I mean, I like it out there, but not a lot of people out there to talk to. Not like me.
That's fair. Well, maybe if you find some other werewolves to talk to, maybe about how they got over.
Yeah, that would be nice.
And it would probably make you feel less alone to be able to talk about it with someone who understands and has experienced all of that.
Yeah, I mean, even just having people around who are different, that helps. There are other werewolves here. I've met them. I mean, that is nice.
Yeah.
That seems like a good... Sorry? Do you have anything else you want to say?
Mika's just gonna kind of like round it out with, what I'm trying to say is I will go tell Amity that we are not putting pictures of you in your werewolf form in front of the class, or
Of me in my underwear.
or you in your underwear, because that
No.
would be ridiculous.
Oh god, so embarrassing. I'm not doing that.
No. I figured you weren't. And that they'll have to come up with something else for their project. And
I mean, we're gonna be so overprepared. It's fine.
we are definitely,
We're
from the
fine.
sounds of it, we're going to be very overprepared.
Yeah.
And if you need anything, or need someone to talk to, whether they understand or not, my door's always open.
Thanks.
Of course. And Mika will kind of just pat him on the shoulder and walk back in the direction of the cafeteria.
All right. Well, we will fade out on that scene. Is there anything else any of you would like to do? Damon, Amity, in the awkwardness of sitting together? Anything you want to resolve before we move on to other things after dinner?
Not for me.
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay. Interesting answer. Okay. Then that is where we will end that scene, fading out on Mika walking back towards the dining hall. Amity, You have been requested at a meeting with Dr. Lila to come to her office to talk at some point when you're free this evening. Do you go?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. Around what time
I
would
think
you?
they'd wander for a little while, so maybe an hour or so after dinner, if
All right.
Dr. Lila is around.
So you head to the main administration building on campus where you know Dr. Lila's office to be. You walk through the halls, noting other administrators' offices. Some professors that also hold administrative roles have offices in this building as well. The Welcome Center is in this building as well. It's where tours usually start, usually earlier in the year, or at the end of the spring semester. So you walk through the hallway and you approach Dr. Lila's office. The door is cracked ever so slightly, and you can hear voices inside. Muffled, you can't really make out what they're saying. One of them is Dr. Lila's, the other is Rhapsody's.
Oh, run! I gotta run away. Yeah.
All right, roll me a runaway.
He is volatile, so 7.
7. All right, you get away, but you choose one. You run into something worse, you cause a big scene, or you leave something behind.
Minnie doesn't really have anything. I kind of want to run into something worse. That put you on the spot.
I mean, that's fair.
That's what I would choose.
I'm not sure even
Okay.
what would be worse than
That
Rhapsody
is-
at this moment for Amity.
Yep. So, you, upon hearing Rhapsody's voice in the office with Dr. Lila, you turn tail and flee, not being able to handle seeing the fellow Fae who has essentially been your tormentor for at least the last few hours or so. Where are you running to?
The bell tower. Had you called it a bell tower? The high place that we had talked about last.
I think a
session.
clock tower.
Clock tower.
I think.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
It could be both.
I said bell. Did I say bell? I meant clock tower.
Okay. As you're running, once you're outside of the administration building, you literally run into the professor you saw earlier, who you now know to be Professor Orpheus, and the cop earlier as well.
Yeah, that'll draw Amity up short and not really one for apologizing or really understanding the need for that in this moment. Kind of like take them both in and just be kind of staring for a moment.
Professor Orpheus will kind of stare you down, so to speak. He saw you at the lakeside. So while he doesn't know who you are personally, he hasn't had you in a class yet, at least. He saw you talking with Dr. Lila. And he's going to kind of stare you down and, whoa, where's the fire?
presumably in a camp somewhere.
What are you running from? And the cop is going to be continuing to stand there and just kind of glaring at you, almost trying to intimidate you.
I think that it'll appear that Amity is intimidated by that, but I think trying to explain what they are running from really just kind of Fae, they wear their heart on their sleeve anyway, so Amity has like no role in this moment, so there's just like a lot of fear building up, and I don't think they'd know what to say or how to answer. They just kind of gape at Professor Orpheus and give like concerned looks to the cop.
Are you going to give an answer? What are you running from?
Someone.
What are you? Someone?
To someone?
Well, maybe you need to report that. We've had a disappearance and a death on campus recently. If
No
you're
one died.
noticing anything, Excuse me?
No one died.
No one died.
I'm not running from a death.
What are you running from?
This is like the third time that he's asked, so there's like a twitch in Amity's like right eye, and it's kind of a lie, but he will say they will say Dr. Lila.
The cop will kind of grunt when you say her name. And Professor Orpheus will just... And why would you be running from her?
He wanted me to meet her, and when I went to go to her office, someone else was in there.
Professor Orpheus is going to take a breath. And the coin that he keeps in between his fingers, he's going to start fiddling with, like, through his fingers faster.
Can I see any details about that?
You can see that it's larger than common mortal currency. So it's probably not currency as you've seen. It's gold, it's large, it doesn't seem to be super hefty, as he's pretty nimbly threading it through his fingers. You can just make out some indentations that you can't totally tell, but as he kind of flips it, you see the indentation of a feather on one of the sides.
Hey.
He will take a breath and kind of mutter under his breath, "Damn, Faye." And he will try and push you a little more. Just, are you going to explain anything, or must I write you up?
For what?
Why are you running from Dr. Lila?
He was talking to Rhapsody. I don't want to see her.
But Dr. Lila specifically requested to see you, to have a meeting with you.
Yes?
He is going to take a breath again and kind of grab you by the shoulder and turn you around to start steering you back towards the administration building.
Amity will not put up any fight.
He's clearly assuming that you are been summoned by Dr. Lila because you are in huge trouble, and he is not hiding that fact that he thinks that from you.
That makes sense.
And he will push you all the way to Dr. Lila's office, where Rhapsody will just be leaving. She'll kind of give you a snarky smile and a little wave of her fingers as she sashays off.
Oh, man.
And Professor Orpheus will push open the door and push you into the room with Dr. Lila, who will look up from her desk when you enter and just, Amity, Professor Orpheus, is everything all right? And he'll say, I found this one running away from your office. I assumed you needed to see them? And Dr. Lila will just, oh, yes, I asked her to meet me. I'm so glad you found her. It's fine. I can take it from here. And she'll get up to kind of take you from Professor Orpheus, and will like close the door, ushering them out and usher you into the seat in front of her. And will have you sit down in front of her desk. And that is where we will leave that for the moment. Bobby.
Okay.
Jonathan is coming to pick you up in a couple hours.
Oh god, I gotta get ready. After I sulk for a bit about that last one. Oof. Yes.
Way too soon. It is not the time that Jonathan told you he was going to come pick you up. You receive a text from him saying that he is outside your door.
Oh jeez. Oh jeez. Oh no. Oh jeez. Ah! Okay. Oh, the mess. Okay, so I'm going to spend like 3 seconds throwing the dirty clothes under everything I can. And then I'm going to go down and get him.
All right.
Hi! You're early.
Oh, yeah, sorry. I just kind of wanted to hang out. I didn't have anything else going on.
No, that's fine. Come up.
He will let you lead him.
Okay, yeah, sure, this way. Yeah.
Where are you leading him? Into like the common area?
No, to my room. Yeah.
Okay.
He doesn't know well enough to know that means anything right now, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, he's that dumb. Yeah, come on in. You have a seat. On the bed, yeah.
Jonathan will hop up on your bed.
So
and just kind of lounge, essentially, on your bed. And,
yeah. So what's going on?
Like I said, just wanted to see you. Didn't have anything else going on, and I figured why wait until I was picking you up for the party? And I could see you now.
Yeah, sure. Great. Yeah, no, I wasn't really doing anything in particular. Like, all the homework stuff was done earlier, so yeah. It's kind of twiddling my thumbs, honestly.
Where are you in the room? Are you sitting on the bed with him? Or...
Oh no, he's stupid. He is like, I'm imagining shitty dorm bed next to shitty dorm desk on a shitty dorm like seat that like leans back, but like not enough. Yeah, yeah, we all know them. They're terrible. We hate them.
Yeah, my freshman dorm had that.
And
so.
he's like awkwardly like sitting catty corner to the bed, leaning forward. On that awful chair. Yeah. Yeah, so like so did your like plans free up or something?
Yeah, I didn't really have anything going on tonight except for seeing you.
Oh, rad. Yeah. So how are you liking lab?
Is all you talk about school?
No?
Well, every conversation we've had, all you talk about is schoolwork.
Well, what else do you talk about?
Interests, things I like, people I hang out with, people I like. And he'll give you a very pointed look.
Okay. What are your interests?
I like music.
Okay.
Rock, mainly.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Rad. This is gonna sound ridiculous. I don't know, I was kind of raised on like classic rock. Because like that's all my dad listened to, and our radio stations suck in Wisconsin. So I kind of like only listen to Def Leppard. Because that's all the radio station would play. And basically my dad only listened to them when he was young. So we only have like 30 Def Leppard tapes, and that's all we had in the house. And that's like my entire childhood, and that's all I know. And I hate it.
So you don't like Def Leppard?
No, but that's all I've ever like listened to until like we got cell phones, and that was like really late. I'm so glad I'm out of Wisconsin.
Yeah, it
My
sounds
story's
like
terrible. I'm sorry.
He will kind of sit up suddenly and like reach for your hand. Just hey, you're good.
Okay.
Don't worry about it.
So what do you listen to?
Well, I listen to classic rock, though admittedly not Def Leppard. I know them.
Yeah, I know. I like everybody does. I know. That's how it made it to Wisconsin. It's a really small town. There are like 300 people there.
I can't relate, but I don't know. It might be cool to see where you grew up. What made you you?
Mostly trees. A lot of corn in the other town over. And then in the other town over, it's soybeans. We got the trees. Mostly because it's hills, you can't farm on those as easy.
He's just gonna end up laughing at how much you're rambling. And just... You seem nervous. You okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. It's been a day. But yeah, I'm fine.
Do you want to talk about it?
Nah, I've already talked a lot.
Listener.
Yeah, you kind of are, but maybe you're just pitying me, I don't know.
Maybe I like listening to you talk.
Okay, well that's nice.
He is going to lean closer to you and just like, I'm flirting with you. You know that, right?
Oh, good. Thank God. I wasn't 100% sure.
Okay.
I have to be honest. I don't have a lot of experience.
And that's fair. Not a lot of options in your small Wisconsin town.
Oh, well, I mean, there was like one shrub off to the left, but between that and the tree, I just didn't have many options.
He's going to kind of pull you to the bed with him as
Okay.
you're talking about this to try and get you to sit next to him.
Oh yeah. He'll go along for the ride. Yeah.
All right. He'll continue letting you talk, and at some point, he will just lean in and kiss you.
Oh yeah, he's into it. Oh yeah.
All right. That's where we will pause this scene for a moment. Damon, what are you doing?
So, after the whole thing at the cafeteria, I was sitting there listening to Amity for a while before they had to go and see and go and do something. They didn't tell me. I finished. I grabbed what remained of the cookies and headed back to my dorm. And I'm going at this point. I'm sitting in the common area and I'm combing through what I've already written for the group presentation, just sort of editing. Going back and through like, okay, what can I say? How do I say this? How do I present this? Sort of refining the presentation aspect of my part of the presentation.
Okay. Is that kind of all you're doing for the night?
Yeah, I'm
At
just
this point, it's all your plan.
waiting. Yeah, waiting for the knock at the door, because Bobby and I are going to do a little bit more investigating. I'm a little excited about that, but that's probably not going to happen till later. So,
Okay. Damon, your roommate comes in, and he is kind of tipsy, like already. This is a guy you know. He's in your class with you in the humanities class. His name is Dominic, and he is a siren.
Dominic the Siren, gotcha.
He's already kind of drunk, smiling, and he's just like, "What's up, dude? What's going on?"
Oh, I'm just finishing up the group presentation for humanities. You doing okay, Dominic?
Oh yeah, I'm great. I'm getting ready for this party that the vampires are having tonight. Oh, it's gonna be so good.
Gotcha. And like the the wires start to connect in Damon's brain, like, oh, I wonder what Bobby's doing this evening. And it doesn't say anything. It's like, well, okay, so you're preparing for the party. How many have you had already?
I don't know, lost count. It's fine.
That bodes really
Okay.
well. Are you going with anybody?
No, just gonna see if I can meet somebody there.
Okay. Um, I will likely not be back when you get back. So yeah, do what you will. I will not be a factor in that. But stay safe. Going out going out later by yourself isn't the safest thing. And you've already had a couple drinks. Just something to bear in mind.
Says the dead guy.
And Damon, like, it's just a complete curveball out of nowhere, just like, is sort of stunned. It's like, oh, okay.
Sorry,
Anyway,
I didn't mean it like that.
no,
It's
I get you.
funny how much you care sometimes about like my well-being and stuff, and you're a ghost. You're dead.
Yeah, sorry for caring, I guess.
No, it's cool, man.
And Damon's
sorry.
eyes have turned from like, sort of hollow, sort of passively engaged to like now like almost like laser focused on Dominic.
And I was like, look, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to offend. If it's a touchy subject, like I won't say it again.
If
I won't.
you don't mean to offend, I wouldn't recommend bringing it up in the future.
I will note that. Like I won't bring it up again.
Cool.
I did want to invite you to the party though. You'll never get out. You don't have any friends. You should get some friends. Parties are good for that.
I'm gonna be busy this evening. I gotta straighten this out with my project, so I think I'll just stick around here.
Man, come on. Do you not want to have any fun?
I'm having plenty of fun researching werewolves. I'm not sure what you're insinuating.
I will never understand how every night all you want to do is homework. But whatever.
Puts his earbud back in and kind of goes back to his work.
Dominic doesn't push. He knows you well enough to know when he's stepped over the line. And he won't push. He'll hang out in the dorm room for a bit. And then in a bit, he will leave again. He's making enough noise that you notice. As you look up, you just catch his back, as the door closes behind him. Hover out of the corner of your eye, there's a shadow that seems to follow after Dominic. And it slips through the cracks of the door after Dominic.
Okay. David, I'm gonna take my earbuds out and sort of, ghostly levitate over towards the door and stick my head through the door to see if the shadow is still following him down the hall or something.
It's not. You no longer see a shadow.
Okay. Weird. Damon, sorry, I note this as I sit back down on the couch and start to think about what was his name, Carter. To see if I could remember anything about what I heard about Carter going missing.
You would only know what your RA had told you, which is that his girlfriend is going around saying that 1 minute he was there, 1 minute he's not.
Okay. And Dominic was still there. It's just the shadow wasn't following him.
Dominic had left the
Okay.
dorm room. He'd probably gone into the kitchen, so you couldn't really see him anymore from just poking your head out.
Mm-hmm.
But no, you didn't see the shadow following Dominic anymore.
Gotcha. Okay.
But it didn't look like a normal shadow. It was
definitely had some creepy vibes to it.
Yeah, it was vaguely humanoid, but definitely had weird edges. Almost like claws and things like that. Very, very weird edges, and it was moving after Dominic and too far away to be his own shadow.
Okay.
but also not far enough away for you to totally convince yourself that it wasn't a trick of the light. But definitely odd.
Okay. I note this as I sit back down at my computer, and I'm going to try to focus on my work, but that's gonna eat away at my concentration as I try to work the remainder of the night.
All right. Mika, what are you up to tonight?
Well, I think Mika would probably have a night in after the sort of realization that she has now made regarding everything. And for the first time, make sure that she puts the notebook somewhere where she can't see it or pay attention to the vibrations. She does not want to talk to Master Grimm right now.
As you pull out your notebook, it is vibrating. Not intensely, though when you put it up, it definitely starts vibrating way more intensely.
And I think at that, she would open it just to see. Like, she knows he doesn't like being ignored. She would kind of do that angry, like, what now? Like, tear it open.
On the page is once again the feather. And in even more crude handwriting than before. And in bright red, blood red letters. The letters almost seem like they're dripping down the page over. The feather says, I want it back. And blood dripping down to the edges of the page, where a single droplet of what seems to you is very real blood comes off the page.
And she would see that, and she was going to respond. She has now thrown the notebook across the room. And her hands are shaking even more. When she first found this and found Master Grimm, she thought she'd made some very exciting discovery. That this was something that she could have for herself and maybe get some sort of help figuring out some of the things that she needed. That she wouldn't feel powerless in a family full of witches who can all take care of themselves in this world full of monsters and wild things. She is now starting to realize that she has dug herself into a situation that is far, far more complex than she could have ever realized. And she leaves the notebook across the room and essentially starts having a panic attack. Like, I picture her full on just backing up into her bed, curling up in a ball, just trying to process what she's gotten herself into.
Okay. Trish comes in. Trish comes in while this is happening and sees you curled up on your bed. And she is immediately fearing the worst. She rushes over to you and she's like, "Oh my God, Mika, are you okay? What happened? Did somebody hurt you? I will kill them. Are you okay?"
And she is in this state she can barely speak. But just curled up in that ball, I think Trish would watch as there's a flash of a million different emotions across her face. The horror, the confusion, like not really being sure what she can and can't say in this moment. As she just looks up and goes, Trish, I don't know what to do. And just hugs her sister.
She'll hug you back, very much so, cradling you as best as she can. Very confused, her eyes are scanning the room, and her eyes land on the notebook. She knows that you have gotten yourself into something. She doesn't know what. And she believes that she can save you. This is stuff you know already.
Mm-hmm.
She takes a breath and just... It's that damn notebook, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Mika, what did you do?
I found something. I thought it was cool. I don't think it's as cool as I thought it was. And it wants me to do something I don't know I can do.
Is it asking you to, like, kill someone?
No, but I think it did.
Trisha's gonna let go of the hug and kind of sit back a little and just go, Mika, what have you done? What have you gotten yourself into?
I don't know. Trish. It wants followers. It wants people. At least it has up until this point. I asked it about something I overheard today. And now it's asking me to get something it left behind.
I don't know what you've gotten yourself into. But you're my sister, and I want to help. So, we'll figure this out together. You will start telling me whatever the fuck is going on with whatever you've done. Okay? And we're gonna figure this out. But if this thing is as bad as you say it is, you cannot let it know. Until we find a way for you to be rid of it. You're gonna have to pretend.
Okay.
Do you think you can do that?
I mean, you know I'm not a great liar.
Does it really care? If you're still, I don't know, talking to it?
It'll care if I don't give it what it wants.
I guess that's true. She'll pull you into another hug and just, whatever the case is, we'll figure this out together, okay?
Okay. Okay.
And that is where we will end that scene. And I think that that's a good place to end for the night. Ending a little earlier, but I don't want to get into something that we can't necessarily finish. So on that super intense but sweeter note, not leave you guys on as big of a cliffhanger as I did last week, I think that's where we will end for the night. Thank you so much to everyone who stuck around, who joined, who watched for a little bit or a lot of it. We all really, really appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We will be streaming again next week, but at our normal time, which is 5:30 Pacific Standard Time, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time, 7:30 Central Standard Time. Yes, I think I've covered every time zone except for Mountain, which would be 6:30, if I'm remembering correctly. So please join us next week to see what happens next. What happens with Bobby and Jonathan, this shadow creature, the conversation with Dr. Lila and Amity, and Mika and Master Grimm. And also the overarching mystery of the fact that there is now a dead body. So please, please join us next week. Thank you all so much for being here. Thank you to my wonderful players. I have been your Mistress of Ceremonies, Abby Marie Carter. You can find me on Instagram at Abby_Marie_Carter. If you want to contact me, I'm also on Discord, in Mistress Winter's Court Discord as Abby Marie Carter. If you want to see more of what I do, I'm on the Facet every Monday, where I am a player. I play a character named Ahira, who is a doll come to life. She is a little bit of a southern belle, so to speak, and also has a giant needle spear that she likes to stab people with when they hurt her friends. Yes, so please come check that out if you're interested. Yes, I think we'll start with Alex. Why don't you close us out? Tell us who you were, where to find you, that sort of thing.
My name is Alex, and I'm playing Damon in our fun Ravenwood campaign here. I am in the Discord server under my character's name, Damon Fullerton. Yeah, I'm super excited to see where the rest of this goes.
All right, thank you so much. Emma.
Yes. Hi, everybody. I'm Emma. I played Mika Sherman tonight, the Infernal. You can find me on as the DM for Chronicles of Kriath podcast, the D&D 5e podcast that I run for Tabletop Tailspinners Network, which I am also the founder and creative director of. We're currently in development of some other podcasts, but Chronicles of Kriath is the one that we have actively releasing right now. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at Tabletop Tailspinners, all one word, all lowercase. And we also have the link tree that'll take you to all of our links that should be wonderfully displayed for you. So if you would like to follow that and see where else you could find me, I would greatly appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Emma. Juicy.
Hi, I'm Juicy Garland. You can find me on... I was playing Babby Gunderson, our werewolf. And you can find me on the twitter.com at juicygarland, one word. Excuse me. You can find me on the instagram.com at juicy.garland. And you can find me in person at Club Cafe on July 8th, playing Dungeons & Dragons live with the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence and Patty Beret. I'm super excited to be doing this with the Sisters again. That was so fun last time, and it's going to be even more fun the second time.
Thank you so much, Juicy. And last but certainly not least, Stouffer.
Simple for me. I'm Stouffer. I played Amity. I'm only can be found in Mistress Winter Court. The only place ever. The only social media ever. Yeah.
Thank you so much. And thank you to our, wonderful, wonderful producer, Mr. Swinter.
Yeah.
Is doing all of the tech, all of the music. She did the intro video, the overlay, and helps me if I get a little bit stuck. So yes, we really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much, Winter, for all that you're doing for this show.
Yes.
I think that about covers it. Yes, thank you again to our wonderful audience. It means so much. Without you guys, we wouldn't have anyone to do this for. I mean, except for ourselves, but it's really nice to have audience. Thank you for all your support and interactions in the chat. While I might not be responding because I'm juggling a lot, I do see it, and it means so much to me that you guys interact and like what you see. So thank you so much, and I hope you come back next week. Thank you, everyone.
Oh my
Have
goodness.
a great night.
Night, everybody.